Hello, my name is Chuck Christian. I played football for the University of Michigan from 1977 through the 1981 Rose Bowl. I've read articles and watched videos of people that have said that Bo was incompetent. Don't you dare call Bo Schembechler incompetent. The Bo I knew was one of the best college football coaches in history. When he was coaching, he had the most wins of any active coach in the nation. You can't accomplish that and be incompetent. The Bo I knew won 13 Big Ten championships, and he was a coaching genius. Not only that, Bo was a great leader of men. I still carry the lessons that he taught me to this day. The Bo I knew understood what it took to run a multi-million-dollar football empire. He was able to bring in the best talent from all over the world. Bo was a great communicator. Many books were written about his leadership style. Bo could have taught at any school of management. The Bo I knew was not incompetent. He was absolutely brilliant. I've been asked the same question many times over the last 40 years. They say if Bo was such a good coach, why did he lose so many Rose Bowls? Anybody who played for Bo can tell you, Bo had us hitting, full contact hitting, twice a day for 2 weeks prior to the Rose Bowl. We were beating each other up. Our opponents, on the other hand, were practicing once a day for 2 weeks with absolutely no contact. By game time, we were beat up and sore. The West Coast team was fresh and rested. We started calling the Rose Bowl the Torture Bowl because it felt like we were being punished for winning the Big Ten. In 1981, Bo cut the practice to 1 practice a day, and we ended up winning that Rose Bowl in 1981. I just read a book. It's called Bo's Lasting Lessons. It's authored by John Bacon and Bo Schembechler. This quote is found on page 57. Every coach, every executive, every leader, they all know right from wrong. Even those Enron guys. When someone uncovers a scandal in their company, I don't think they can say, I didn't know that was going on. They're just saying they're too dumb to do their job. And if they really are too dumb, then why are they getting paid millions of dollars to do it? They know what's going on. End quote. Now I want to read Bo's quote again, but this time I want to switch just one word. See if you can identify the one word that I changed. Please listen carefully. Every coach, every executive, every leader, they all know right from wrong. Even those Michigan guys. When someone uncovers a scandal in their company, I don't think they can say, I didn't know that was going on. They're just saying they're too dumb to do their job. And if they really are too dumb, then why are they getting paid millions of dollars to do it? They know what's going on. Bo really hit the nail on the head. Now there are a few former players that are saying that Bo was incompetent. Okay. They didn't really say that Bo was incompetent. They said Bo didn't know. And according to Bo's own words from page 57, that is Bo's definition of incompetent. They're saying that Bo didn't know that many of his players were being systematically raped by the team doctor for 40 years. These same people are repackaging the sexual trauma of Anderson as a military physical and not a molestation. They're calling the $5 million Wilmer Hale investigation that stated that 24 administrators, as well as Don Canham and Bo Schembechler, knew what Anderson was doing to the athletes. They're calling it BS. They're saying that all the athletes that said that that they told Bo were all mistaken, or they fell short in explaining the severity of the crimes. Some are even saying that the 850 athletes that are saying that Anderson raped them are just lying. Some people are saying that Bo was just an employee of Don Canham and was powerless over Anderson. But according to page 24 of this book, Bo said that Canham gave him 100% control over the football program. That included hiring and firing Anderson. He was not powerless, and once Bo became athletic director, he still did not terminate Anderson. I love Bo. I did. And I cried like a baby when I found out that he knew. I kept making up excuses to prove to myself that Bo didn't know. But too much evidence came out that proved that he did know. And Bo knew, the Bo I knew was too smart to be fooled by Anderson 100 times a year for 40 years. And some guys were raped as many as 45 times. Anderson operated as if he had permission to molest us. He had no fear of being punished, rightfully so, because he died a celebrated Michigan hero. The Bo I knew mastered getting to the bottom of things. Bo is nobody's fool. I find it sad that some folks are more concerned about a damn statue than they are 1,000 real, breathing people who were victims of a deranged sexual predator. It breaks my heart that some people would rather victimize the victims all over again than to accept the facts. Bo, excuse me, please don't accept everything that you read about Bo as 100% truth. One of Bo's lessons from his book was never hold a grudge. Bo was the master of holding grudges. That's why the players were terrified of crossing him. I have seen him hold a grudge for years. And Bo had control over if you ever played at Michigan. Another of Bo's lessons was having an open door policy for all 125 of your players. He said in his book that if any player needed to speak with him day or night, that he would make time for him. I played for Bo for 4 years, and I never heard about this policy until right now. If I hadn't read Bo's lasting lessons, I still wouldn't know. If I had crashed one of Bo's meetings to ask for more playing time, he would have cussed me out. Then he would have embarrassed me in front of the full team and made an example out of me. Then he would have put me in the doghouse indefinitely. Now that's the Bo that I know. There were only a few guys that could go see Bo like that. Why is he trying so hard to make himself seem like a reasonable man? Another of Bo's lessons was to spend as much time with your fourth string players as he did the first string. When I read this, I laughed. Bo didn't even know the name of his fourth string players. Why is he trying to rewrite history? Another of Bo's lessons was to treat players and staff with respect. The Bo I knew took pride in humiliating players and staff alike. He enjoyed the power of being feared by all. I will never forget when Bo physically attacked the head trainer and knocked him to the ground. The trainer was trying to rest an injured player so that he would be ready for the Rose Bowl game. Bo wanted him to have full contact practice regardless. Many players lost respect for Bo that day. Not one coach came to the trainer's aid. They didn't want to be Bo's his next victim. They just acted like nothing happened. The trainer quit and took an NFL job the next year and won and got himself a couple Super Bowl rings. Bo said that he would never put a player in the doghouse without explaining to the player what he needed to do to get out of the doghouse. It wasn't fair to leave a player in the doghouse indefinitely, says Bo. This was not true. Bo never explained why a player was in the doghouse. I've seen players kept in the doghouse for 3 and 4 years, never given a chance to work his way out and get on the travel squad. In the book, Bo said that he would never demote a player without explaining why it happened. Bo demoted me 5 times and never told me why. There were many other players that were demoted without any explanation as well. Bo answered to no one. If a player got injured, Bo would treat that player like a leper. Once Bo turned his back on you, the other coaches, they turned their backs on you too. I've even heard Bo tell injured players to go to the other side of the building because I don't want to see you. You disgust me. He told one player that he was not as tough as his older brother. He then said that you guys must have different daddies. The player was traumatized by that racist statement. Bo really didn't give a crap. In Bo's lasting lessons, Bo said that when he came to Michigan, the black player sat on one side and the white player sat on the other. He claims that he told them that at Michigan there was no black or white. There was just Michigan. And then Bo began to separate and mix the guys back into move you to here and you to there and you to there and you to there until he got it all mixed up evenly. And that fixed the problem. That's not true. That's not true. The separate seating continued for another 12 years until the players decided to end it. Bo told us he didn't give a crap where we sat, but the players ended it. You know, it's time to tell the truth. I'm no longer an 18-year-old kid trying to please a dysfunctional tyrant. Bo was a bully. He hurt a lot of people just because he could. I refuse to let John Bacon redefine my experience at Michigan. No more lies. Enough with the lies. Bo had very little respect for his players. He enjoyed verbally abusing guys in front of the teammates. We had a kicker, we called him Kool-Aid. He could punt the ball 60 yards all day long. He was amazing. During a full team punting drill, Bo walked up to Kool-Aid at the 50-yard line, right in the middle of the field. Bo had his yardstick. He told Kool-Aid, "Turn around, son." And then Kool-Aid turned around. Bo said, "You are one fat son of a bitch. You will never set foot on this field as a Michigan player. Do you know why?" He said, "No, Coach, why?" "Because I don't like the way you look in a Michigan uniform. After that, a few of us went over to Kool-Aid to try to calm him down. Bo is just being an a-hole. He gets off on that stuff. Don't leave. Kool-Aid said, I can go to a dozen schools and start. Why should I stay here and ride the bench? The next year, Kool-Aid was gone. And another kicker named Buchanan left as well. Michigan ended up that year with the worst kicking game in the Big Ten and possibly in the nation. I said to my teammates, I bet Bo wishes he had Kool-Aid now. Bo was such a toxic personality. Bo took pride in breaking players. He talked about it in his book. In this book right here, he talked about how he took pride in breaking players. He didn't realize that everybody didn't need to be broken. Some guys just needed a little encouragement. He destroyed a lot of talented guys by playing the head games and by being verbally and emotionally abusive. Bo would be nasty to players for absolutely no reason. If Bo was walking down the hall toward a player, the player would turn around to avoid Bo's gaze because we all knew that he would have something nasty to say if he got you one-on-one. 1977 was my freshman year. We got to vote for our team captain. We voted strong safety Dwight Hicks as captain. After the vote, we went up to him to shake his hands and to congratulate him. Dwight was riding high. His teammates had just selected him captain of the 1977 Michigan Wolverines, and he won by a landslide. Bo waited in the hall for Dwight to come out. Bo called him over. Instead of saying congratulations, he could have said, if you need anything, feel free to come see me. Or he could have said, I'm really proud of you. Or even, you're going to make a great captain. But instead, Bo said, if it were up to me, you never would have been made captain. Dwight said, I know, Coach. That's why it's not up to you. Besides, the players see things that you don't. Bo turned red and walked away. My freshman or sophomore year, I can't remember exactly, Bo said something that really troubled me. He said, you hotshot athletes are running around like you're something special. You think you're Michigan football. Let me set the record straight. I am Michigan football. When you guys are gone, I'll still be here because I am Michigan football. I said to myself, he has lost it. Nobody is going to spend a dime to watch him run a football or catch a pass. Besides, what happened to the team? The team. The team. Nobody is more important than the team. In the book, Bo told the story of how he was making $60,000 a year coaching at Michigan. I didn't have to dig this out. It's right here in the book. He was making $60,000 a year. And Texas A&M offered him $2.4 million to come to Texas. Bo said that he turned down the $2.4 million to stay at Michigan and kept his $60,000 salary. He said he couldn't leave the guys that he'd recruited to Michigan. Besides, he loved Michigan. What Bo failed to mention was that he got a pizza franchise and other perks to remain at Michigan. My mom always told me that a half-truth is a whole lie. And when John Bacon and Bo got together, they got very creative with the facts. Bo said in his book how all of his former players were all doing well. Only a couple ended up in prison. Bo named the names of the two that went to prison. I asked them if they knew that Bo had put their story in his book. They both said no. And then I said, did you give Bo permission to put your personal information in his book? They said no. I knew of at least 6 guys that had gone to prison. Why is it that Bo chose to share the struggles of my 2 African American friends? You have to respect people's privacy. In my Hail to the Victims video, I told a lot of stories. I shared some very personal and intimate information. I never mentioned anybody's name. I just said a friend told me. Those 2 stories made Bo look good. He didn't care how it made his former players look. Loyalty is a 2-way street. You can't expect loyalty from your players if you're not loyal to them. My friends both said that Bo's depiction of their stories were not accurate. Shame on Bo and shame on John Bacon. Bo humiliated his players to sell a book. A friend of mine said it perfectly. John Vaughn, a former Michigan All-Star running back. He puts it this way. He says, I've been telling my truth for the past 15 plus months. Let me make this clear. This is not about statues or names on buildings. This is about atrocities, the cover-ups, and the enabling and institutional complicit culture of abuse and rape for the last half century at the University of Michigan. I will not be silent. We will not be silent until the entire truth is exposed. The cover-ups stop. The abuse and rape culture is eradicated, and wholesale institutional changes are made at the University of Michigan. He goes on to say, I am not John Doe, I am John Vaughn. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those that speak it. George Orwell. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. The stories that I've shared are 100% accurate. Dozens of former teammates have verified the accuracy of these stories. I just want to get the truth out. Over 850 athletes were sexually violated by Dr. Anderson. I just want to make sure that this never happens again. Please share this video with as many people as possible. Remember, hail to the victims.